So, good afternoon, classmates. Good afternoon to our professor, Mr. Nestor Murcia. My name is Angelo P. Bustamante. And for now, for Power Mechanics Technology Lecture, I am your second presenter, and I will be discussing the Chapter 7, which is Environmental and Hazardous Materials. So, before we proceed to our presentation, let's us all know the objectives of my topic. So, at the end of the presentation, the student should be able to understand the types and sources of hazardous materials in automotive technology and develop a sense of responsibility towards environmental safety and sustainability. Lastly is to demonstrate proper handling and disposal techniques for hazardous materials. So, before we proceed to the next slides, let us all know or define what is environmental hazards. So when we say environmental hazards, these are threats to people and the things we value. They have many different origins, yet we normally think of hazards as occurring as a consequence of the interaction between natural systems, technological systems, and human systems. Okay, now, hazardous waste materials. So, are chemicals or compounds that the shop no longer need that pose a danger to the environment and people if they are disposed of in order, garbage cans, and sewers. However, no material is considered as hazardous waste until the shop has finished using it and is ready to dispose it. So we have types of hazard materials, or types of hazards. So the first one is the chemical hazards. It includes substances like paints, solvents, and adhesives that can be toxic or flammable. So, isa na example dito rin is yung fuel or yung gas na ginagamit natin sa car. The next one is physical hazard. It involves risk from heavy machinery and moving parts that can cause injuries. So, yun, kung mapapansin nyo sa shop natin or sa laboratory natin, we have different kind of materials na malalaki or yung mga machine na pwedeng mag-cause ng hazard sa atin. Pwede tayong mabagsakan or maipit. So, yun. Ayun yung mga tinatawag na physical hazards. And the next one is biological hazards. Refers to materials like waste, oils, and used tires that can contaminate the environment. So, mamaya, I will be discussing yung waste oils or yung used oils. And the next one is radiological hazards. Includes materials like lead-acid batteries that can emit harmful radiation if not handled properly. So, yun din, mamaya mali-discuss natin ano nga ba yung lead-acid batteries. So, let's proceed. Yan. Personal Protective Equipment or PPE. So, hindi ko na kailangan basahin yung meaning yan. Alam naman natin na personal protective equipment is very crucial for us to wear. Diba? If nagpe-perform tayo ng action, especially sa laboratory natin. So, yung PPE is tumutulong sa atin para ma-less, or syempre, kaya nga may mga environmental hazards, or parang hindi maiiwas. Hindi natin masasabi kung kailan siya darating. Pero, napaghahandaan naman natin. So, PPE, it helps to less the possible risk, hazards, and injuries na pwede natin makuha sa loob ng isang workplace, or sa shop natin. So, right to know laws. So, the right to know laws state that employees have a right to know. Okay? Right to know the materials they use at work are hazardous. So, the right to know laws are the regulations that require employers to inform employees about the presence and hazards of chemicals or hazardous substances in the workplace. So, these laws aim to ensure that employees are aware of potential risk and know how to protect themselves from exposure. Right to know laws. Next one is the OSHA. So, familiar na tayo lahat dito kasi parang napagdaan na natin to or na-discuss na sa atin ng first year. So, when we say OSHA is Occupational Safety and Health Act. So, yung legislation na to ay ginawa to assist and encourage all the people or all the workers to assure that the workers are have safe and healthful working conditions by providing information, education, and training in the field of occupational safety and health. And also, providing safe and healthful working conditions for working men and women by authorizing enforcement of the standards developed under the Act. So next one is the EPA or Environmental Protection Agency. So, sabi dito, the EPA publishes a list of hazardous materials that is included in the Code of Federal Regulations, or CFR. So, the EPA considers waste hazardous if it is included on the EPA list of hazardous materials, or it has one or more of the following characteristics. So, ano nga ba yung mga characteristics na meron or kasama sa EPA? Na tinutukoy ng EPA. So, ayan is reactive, corrosive, toxic, ignitable, and radioactive. When we say reactive, it is any material that reacts violently with water or other chemicals is considered hazardous. Okay? Then corrosive, if a material burns the skin or dissolves metal and other materials, a technician should consider it hazardous. Then toxic naman, materials are hazardous if they leak one or more of 8 different heavy metals in concentrations greater than 100 times the primary drinking water standard. Ignitable, a liquid is hazardous if it has a flash point below 140 Fahrenheit, and a solid is hazardous if it ignites spontaneously. And the last one is radioactive. Radioactive is any substance naman that emits measurable levels of radiation or radioactive. When individuals bring containers of a highly radioactive substance into the shop environment, qualified personnel with the appropriate equipment must test them. Next one is the Material Safety Data Sheets, o yung MSDS. So, the employer has a responsibility to place MSDS information where they are easily accessible by all employees. So, the MSDS information provide the following information about the hazardous material, chemical name, physical characteristics, protective handling equipment, explosion or fire hazards, and incompatible materials, health hazards, medical conditions, aggravated by exposure, emergency and first aid procedures, safe handling and spill or leak procedures. So yun, lahat ng yun is dapat alam ng mga employees. So the employer also has a responsibility to make sure that all hazardous materials are properly labeled. So the label information must include health, fire, and reactivity hazards posed by the material, as well as the protective equipment necessary to handle the material. The manufacturer must supply all warning and precautionary information about hazardous materials. So, ayan na. Andiyan na tayo ngayon sa asbestos hazard. So, ano nga ba yung asbestos? So, pag sinabing asbestos, asbestos is a dangerous chemical that can cause cancer, lung scarring, and other serious diseases. So, yun. Yung asbestos kasi is kapag matagal kang nagtatrabaho sa isang workplace na may asbestos, tapos nalalanghap mo siya ng nalalanghap, malaki yung possibilities na magkaroon ka ng isang lung cancer. So, sabi dito, friction materials such as brake and clutch linings often contain asbestos. While asbestos has been eliminated from most original equipment friction materials, the automotive service technician cannot know whether the vehicle being serviced is or is not equipped by friction materials containing asbestos. Used oil, okay, is any petroleum-based or synthetic oil that has been used during normal use ulit. So, used oil is any petroleum-based or synthetic oil that has been used. During normal use, impurities such as dirt, metal scrapings, water, or chemicals can get mixed in with the oil. So, the first criterion for identifying used oil is based on the oil's origin. So, used oil must have been refined from crude oil or made from synthetic materials. So, animal and vegetable oils are excluded from the EPA's definition of used oil. And the second criterion is based on whether and how the oil is used. So, oil used as lubricants, hydraulic fluids, heat transfer fluids, and for other similar purposes are considered used oil. The EPA's definition also excludes products used as cleaning agents as well as certain petroleum-derived products like antifreeze and kerosene. And the last one, or the third criterion, is based on whether the oil is contaminated with either physical or chemical impurities. So in other words, to meet EPA's definition, used oil must become contaminated as a result of being used. So this aspect of EPA's definition includes residues and contaminants generated from handling, storing, and processing used oil. Okay. Next one is the lead acid battery. So, lead is classified as toxic metal and the acid used in lead acid batteries is highly corrosive. So, about 70 million spent lead acid batteries are generated each year in the US. So, ito is based dun sa libro na binasa ko. And lead is classified as toxic metal and the acid used in lead batteries is highly corrosive. So, yun nga, sabi dito. So, battery disposal. So, used lead acid batteries must be reclaimed or recycled in order to be exempt from hazardous waste regulations. So, leaking batteries must be stored and transported as hazardous waste. And some states have more strict regulations which require special handling, procedures, and transportation. So, paano nga ba yung battery handling and storage? So, batteries, whether new or used, should be kept indoors if possible. So, the storage location should be in an area specifically designated for battery storage and must be well ventilated. So, if outdoor storage is the only alternative, so a sheltered and secured area with acid-resistant secondary containment is strongly recommended. It is also advisable that acid-resistant secondary containment may be used for indoor storage. In addition, batteries should be placed on acid-resistant pallets and never stacked. So, these are the hazardous materials identifications guide. So, yung blue is health, indicates the toxicity, and health risk of a substance. Then, the red is flammability, represents how easily the material can ignite. Then, also the yellow, reactivity, shows how like the material is to undergo a chemical reaction or explosion. And the last one is the protective equipment. White section lists the necessary protective gear for handling the materials safely. So, mamaya, makikita nyo yung yung sa protective equipment na yan. So, ito naman yung hazard rating and protective equipment. So, meron tayo dyang 4, which is the extreme or high risk. The 3, serious. 2, the moderate. 1 is the slight. And the 0 is the minimal, lowest of possible risk. So, ito na yung sinasabi ko na protective equipment. So, the chart provides description of the risk associated with different levels of health, flammability, and reactivity hazards. It also includes a protective equipment guide with codes A to K that indicate what safety gear should be worn, such as gloves, goggles, respirators, and aprons. So, ang purpose nitong tatlong to is, una, helps workers quickly assess risks. Pangalawa, ensures proper use of protective equipment. And lastly, promotes workplace safety and compliance with safety regulations. And that's all for my part. And these are the references of my presentations. And thank you for listening.